You hear that sound? It's a call to sleeper cells inside your body. Time to wake up.
Crackdown 3 has had a bumpy ride, full of delays and studio departures, and now after we finish the final product, it's clear to us that something went wrong. While the bright lights of the techno-tinged New Providence might seem attractive from afar, this city is small, hollow, and bland. It's a shock to play a game in this condition that's been in development for so long, especially one created exclusively for Microsoft. There are multiple playable agents, but after such a lengthy advertising campaign, selecting anyone but Terry Crews, aka Commander Jackson, feels like a waste. He's the only recognizable face, and his humorous outbursts provide some of the only chuckle-worthy moments in the game.
Say hello to your mama, fucker!
You're sent to this island metropolis to shut down Terra Nova, a private militia run by the psychotic Elizabeth Niemand. There are brief 2D cutscenes that give you as little story as possible, and the rest of your direction comes from waypoints and radio chatter. Director Goodwin returns from the previous Crackdowns to cheer you on, along with the refugee-turned-rebel Echo. Once you get past the first area, you're set loose in New Providence to complete the map's checklist in whatever order you choose. Finishing each category of missions brings one of 9 bosses out of hiding, eventually leading you to the top brass of Terra Nova. There are a few recordings you can track down and listen to, but they rarely offer new details about the world, merely giving the villains a chance to speak and granting you a bit of XP. The lack of an evolving plot, or even a base of operations to return to, makes jumping around the map the entirety of the experience. It's unfortunate that there's so little structure, but there's something to be said for a city-based open-world action game where you just sprint and shoot and cover as much ground as you can. The issue is, there's so much else going wrong here that even the minute-to-minute carnage loses its impact after a while. Once you take over one of Terra Nova's locations, like a defense turret or a toxic pipeline, the rest in that district will be labeled on the map. You can focus on one area to hunt down a specific boss, or take off and go to war with whatever comes your way. There are also samples of agent DNA you can recover to unlock more characters, poisonous canisters to destroy, and races, both on foot and in vehicles. The objectives at each location get repetitive, and they can be confusing at times because specific terminals aren't always highlighted right away, forcing you to hop around and guess what the game is asking you to find. Some of these map missions rewire the city to work in your favor. Releasing citizens from prison increases your chance you'll see them fighting alongside you later on, and capturing monorail stations will unlock traveling turrets that back you up. The city also evolves depending on the order you choose to eliminate bosses, removing their forces from subsequent encounters and increasing your chances of success. We noticed these perks as the campaign went on, but they feel more like set dressing rather than a feature that can really be taken advantage of. Your agent can level up in 5 categories: agility, firearms, strength, explosives, and driving. You soak up experience orbs when you practice each of these activities, or earn a dose of all types of XP when you locate one of the hidden orbs. Each time you step into a new car or pick up a new weapon, it's added to a catalog of items so you can request it later at agency supply points. These markers also let you respawn or fast travel. This system encourages you to keep seeking and destroying, but gives you little freedom in how you level up your agent. And aside from firearms, the rest of the skills aren't really necessary. They become an afterthought unless you want to gain access to crazier vehicles or spend time tracking down agility orbs to upgrade your jumping. Despite the emphasis on destruction, the platforming is actually what separates Crackdown 3 from most open-world shooters. Lots of rewards sit in hard-to-reach areas, like propaganda towers you have to climb one ledge at a time. Leaping between tall buildings can be challenging in a way that not many open worlds experiment with, but there just aren't many exciting places to visit. The city is far from believable, lacking enough style to liven up the waste pits, empty freeways, and barren rooftops. Aside from some very tall buildings, high-speed railway lines, and dancing projections, Crackdown 3's visuals on the standard Xbox One look like something that launched on the Xbox 360. It's one thing to sacrifice detail for a rainbow of neon and bright explosions, but this is a significant step below expectations. The muddy textures are always popping in, the frame rate pauses every now and then, and the character models are embarrassing. Enemy types are mindless drones with stiff animations and zero personality, and they sometimes freeze in place or fail to respond when you shoot them from far away. The bosses are also dull, with only a few offering scenarios that differ from the standard missions. The map is tiny, failing to impress at first glance, and it doesn't resonate in any way when the brief campaign is over. Like before, the entire game can also be played alongside another human agent online in co-op. Having a partner makes everything a bit better, whether it's spotting and eliminating tricky-to-find bad guys or causing a ruckus on the city streets. It's up to you to make the most of co-op, as not much was designed with the second player in mind, aside from races and supply points. Your buddy is there to goof around with, or supply a bit of extra firepower. If you want to challenge other agents, there's Wrecking Zone, the first attempt at PvP in the series. Matchmaking places you in one of two modes on a team of up to 5 players. Agent Hunter is like Call of Duty's Kill Confirmed, requiring you to not only eliminate enemy team members, but to pick up the badges they drop to earn points. Territories is your basic conquest mode, continuously creating spots on the map for each team to capture and keep. Everyone's agility skills are maxed out, and there are multiple air jets on each map that rocket you to higher ground. The series' lock-on shooting comes in handy because agents can move so fast. Other than competitive multiplayer, the big difference between Wrecking Crew and the campaign is the inclusion of environmental destruction. Most of the walls and platforms can be knocked down, clearing segmented parts of the map and giving you few places to hide. It looks cool to see each area fall to pieces, but aside from filling up a meter for a super ability that you can also fill by picking up orbs, there's little strategy to demolition. The maps are separate from New Providence, so you never get to cause similar damage to the actual city. Wrecking Crew is amusing, but too chaotic, and with no progression system, there's little reason to keep coming back.
Point, shoot, drop him.
Crackdown 3 is partying like it's 2010, ignoring almost every advancement the open-world genre has made in the past decade. The attempts at humor and provocation are forgettable, and if it wasn't for Echo and Goodwin in your ear, there would be almost no real meaning to any of it. Crackdown 3 excels at almost nothing, especially in comparison to several of its recent groundbreaking competitors. No matter how strong your agent can get or how much demolition you can cause, there's simply better cities to save.
We are the strongest, baddest ass kickers on earth. Ain't nothing gonna take us down. Quack, motherfucker!
Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows.